Hey small group leaders, thanks for watching April 26th training video. I'm glad you care about being prepared for your students, so thank you so much for watching this. April has been a crazy ride. Easter was a blast, and just conviction is a great virtue that we've been working on. So thank you so much for being prepared and just leading these kids towards Jesus. Thank you so much. This week we are talking about Stephen being stoned, and Acts chapter 6 and 7 talk about Stephen, the end of 6, beginning of 7. You know how it is. What happens is that he is out in public doing all these miracles, and people don't like that. The religious leaders just don't like that. So they're like, hey, and they start this debate with him. They're like, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about this and this and this. And they start debating about it, and they don't like what he has to say. So then they go before the Sanhedrin and they start lying. They're like, hey, this is what Stephen said. He's blaspheming God. He's like doing all this bad stuff. And so they call Stephen in. And they're like, hey, Stephen, what's up? And what Stephen does here takes a lot of guts. I don't think I could have done this. He talks for like a whole chapter, like all of chapter 7, pretty much just preaching to these Bible scholars. Like, they know the Bible. They know it. And he starts talking about just pretty much creation, Adam, like the patriarch, Abraham, the patriarch, they love Abraham, all the way until they killed Jesus. And that's what he says. Like, he points everything towards Jesus. It's a really cool chapter if you want to see how the entire Old Testament points towards Jesus. And then at the end, he kind of says, hey, and you killed him. Good job for you. Yeah! And they didn't like that very much. So they stoned him. And typically they push people off a cliff and then throw rocks at them, and it's really nice. And Paul, who was called Saul back then, watched their coats while they stoned Stephen. So it's definitely an interesting story. Read about it. And it's just really cool about how Stephen stood up for what he believed in, even when he knew it wasn't going to be easy. He knew that was not going to be easy. So for 3 through 6, we have some really cool activities. I don't know if you've ever played Acting Freeze Tag. It was one of my favorite games in junior high, and it's in the curriculum to do this week. And so they have different scenarios. So they're like doing one scenario, and you say freeze, and then a new kid comes in and starts a new scenario. And they all have to do, there's like some cards that you can use as a cheat sheet, and then the kids can just get creative too, because they're awesome like that. And then the second activity for 3 through 6 is just what's really cool is they get to write about what Stephen did. Hey, he stood up for what he believed in. Bad things happened to him, and sometimes bad things happen to good people, and it's not fair. But at the same time, God's will is done. Who knows what Stephen's death accomplished? I know that all of us get to read about it and learn from it, and how it helped or hurt the early church. I know it definitely had an impact on Paul's life, who ended up writing 13 books of the Bible. So we never know why bad things are happening, but we do know that God works everything for good. In the long run, he works everything for good, and we need to obey him. K through 2, they play reverse tag again, which is when there's like one person in it and everyone chases it. And you get some fun scenarios to read about the it person. So that's a lot of fun. Your scenarios are all in your quick guide. And then they have a stand up for what's right card. So you put a bucket in the middle of the room. Actually, I think we have a step stool, because I feel like if you stand on a bucket, A, they could fall off, or B, break the bucket. Doesn't seem very good. So there's a stepping stool in your small group kit, and they get to stand on top of that, and then you get to ask them a question, and they get to say the right answer. And it's kind of scary when you're standing up in front of everyone. You have to know what you're talking about. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. And it's like, how did you feel when everyone was looking at you, expecting you to stand up for what was right? How did that feel? And it's just, working with the kids. It's hard, and it's intimidating, but standing up for what's right is always the right thing to do. So that's what we've been talking about this whole month. This is the last week of the month. Good job getting through a difficult month, praying for your kids. Definitely, before you come on Sunday, pray for your kids. It really makes a difference. Prayer is a big deal. Write on your info card about it. Pray for them. Journal about it. Remember your kids' names so that you're making a difference in their lives. It really matters when you pray for your kids. So thank you so much for watching this. We do have a secret password today, so thanks for watching. It is, what is it? Oh, Death by Stoning. Death by Stoning. Tell me that and you'll get a gift certificate. Thanks.